Today I'm going to show you how to make the seamless and reversible bottom, great modern interpretation of a high-waist bottom. So let's get into it. The first thing you're going to do is print your paper pattern. The pattern is layered, so you can isolate your preferred size. Just make sure you're printing at 100% or do not scale, and double check that the test square measurements match before you cut it out. Where there are half hearts with corresponding letters, you want to join them to make the full pattern, and you can use glue and tape to do that. When that's done, you'll end up with two pieces like this, a front and a back, which we'll now cut out in our swimwear fabric on the fold. You're going to need swimwear fabric, of course, and also non-woven elastic. I'm using rubber elastic here for this pattern. You can use a rotary cutter or a pair of scissors to cut these patterns out, whatever you're more comfortable with. Just don't forget to cut the notches for the center fronts and backs at the folds on the top and at the crotch line. We're going to start by joining the front and back together at the crotch line, matching right sides together and then repeating it for the inverse or lining piece too. You can use an overlock here or a straight stitch. When that's done, you're going to match the two pieces together, right sides together, and sew the leg openings up. Don't forget to add elastic here as well. This is particularly important for the fuller coverage one to keep everything in place around the natural curves of our body. We can now turn everything right sides out, and we're going to match the side seams together. It can be a little tricky matching the four seam points perfectly, so you can use a straight stitch here if that's easier instead of an overlock stitch. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this matching? Like, I am so pleased with myself. Every time this happens, I'm like, yes, it's a little win for me. Now all we have left to do is stitch the waistline, and we're going to do this by turning it inside out. Watch closely. We're going to match the notches on the right sides and the side seams of the fronts and backs together. And as we stitch it, we're going to pull the fabric through so that we can stitch it the whole way around in one continual loop before we add the elastic. Some people do the elastic together, but I personally find it easier to separate it into two steps, and it just makes for a more sturdy swimwear bottom. Just be mindful you're not catching the other side of the fabric from the two, and you can use the same formula. I recommend 3% smaller for the waist. You're going to create a small opening on the crotch line, and we're going to use that to turn everything right sides out. And now all we have to do is close that stitch up with a ladder stitch or invisible stitch, and there you go, you are done. I love these bottoms, and I think they're going to be a staple. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!